What we do here is go back.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another week of the Oldy Gaming Podcast. I am Oldy Gaming, and with me, you can see his beautiful face now. There it is, right there to the left of me, I guess. My cousin and co-host Kano Crisco.
How's it going, guys?
So this week has been a great week. Not a lot of stuff to go over today, but anyways, we are excited to be back doing this again.
Week 2.
Yeah, week 2, Attack of the Stream. Let me know if you know that reference. So yeah, we might as well just get right into it. Mass Effect comes out this week.
Super pumped.
Yes, very
Super
pumped. I am pumped as well. I know you have been playing it for a little bit. What are your initial thoughts on it?
So I found out this morning that with EA Access I could do the trial version of Andromeda, and I had actually done a little bit of reading on it that it cuts you off at a certain point in the story because obviously I think they opened up the trial even like days ago. Like this isn't like a new thing. But they cut you off at a certain point in the story so that you weren't really far ahead when the actual release came out. But it's a full, as far as trials go, it's a full function trial. It gives you about, I would say if you were to go from the time you start and go straight through the story and not necessarily investigate everything, probably 2-3 hours worth of story gameplay. And then it's got the full multiplayer, I think, with limited maps. But you get a good feel for everything, the gameplay, the new leveling systems, kind of the new combat systems and everything. It's a little light on direction, which I actually really appreciated because I found that that's kind of what consumed a lot of my time, was having them give me an objective and then actually figuring out how to do it, as opposed to just having like a, hey, go here, press A, press B, and then you're done. It's not necessarily super descriptive as far as like where you need to go and things like that. So overall first impressions, I think it's fantastic. Obviously, I'm a long-standing fan of the Mass Effect series. So with this, it's been a while since they've released the game, and I feel like they picked up where 2's story left off and where 3's gameplay left off. I recently just went back and played those. 2's had the best story, but the gameplay was definitely the most refined in 3, and this kind of builds on it. It has a great auto cover system where, although that may not be what everyone enjoys, it's nice because the gameplay in itself is a lot faster for this game. The combat's much quicker. The enemies at times seem like they kind of come out of nowhere, so to not have to necessarily worry about snapping into cover is really nice. But the gameplay's fast. Like, the guns feel effective, at least for what I have right now. The biotic powers are awesome. The tech powers are awesome. I feel like all around it's a great game so far. And the story's captivating enough. It's what you expect from BioWare. And with the multiplayer, it's definitely something that's a nice change of pace from the story, where obviously in any story game it can kind of slow down as you get from point A to point B. But the multiplayer it's like small maps, like kind of closed circuit. It's like 7 or 8 waves on the bronze level. I haven't played any higher than that. But it's like nonstop combat, so it's a really nice change of pace where it's just nonstop action versus, kind of the come and go story. So I think they complement each other very well.
Cool. I'm excited to get into it. I have not played the free trial at all. I thought I had it downloaded. I was going to play a little before the podcast here, but I guess it didn't download to my Xbox, whatever. So, next thing. Guardians of the Galaxy, if anyone noticed, is coming out with a Telltale game. And basically what a Telltale game is, for those of you who don't know, it's heavily story driven. There's no real action. You're not shooting. You're not running around and shooting. You don't have that free will. It's kind of it's the script. It's you playing out this TV show or this movie in this case. And they came out with a couple of screenshots. They look pretty sweet, and I think it gives us a good opportunity to talk about this game, because I've never played a Telltale game before this. I've heard plenty. I've seen a lot of other ones like Batman and Walking Dead happens. They have a lot of different episodes. I think they're on like season 3 of Walking Dead Telltale. Game of Thrones is another one. It's a very popular genre, and it's kind of surprising that it's so popular to where, even a Guardians of the Galaxy game is coming out to this. But yeah, what do you think?
I was going to say, I'm kind of in the same boat. I personally have never played them either. I kind of have the philosophy on it that I don't pay for like seasons of TV shows that I watch after the seasons run. So personally, this doesn't catch my interest. From what I've heard, though, they're phenomenal games. Telltale writes a great story. I know they were heavily involved in like the first Borderlands, and I believe the Borderlands series in general. So they write a great game. They write a great story. Me personally, it doesn't catch my interest, but I definitely see why people would enjoy it. It's something that it's a little bit more interactive than sitting down and watching TV for hours on end. It actually kind of keeps you engaged in the story and what's happening. But also, too, the one thing I find very unique with these, everything's fully licensed. So it's not like they're making things up. I mean, they may make up some of the action and stuff, but everything's fully licensed, so they can use character names, they can use character models, designs, things like that, and kind of tell stories that maybe aren't getting told in a particular video game, or like for Game of Thrones, for example. I know their Telltale game is much more like backstory and like backlore and side stories, as opposed to what happens in the main show. So I think it's a great thing for people that really just want more of something that they love. For Batman, people that love Batman, they love these games because it tells a cool story outside of the Arkham series or comic books or the movies.
The one thing I don't like about the Batman, and I guess it's just Batman as a whole, is there's so many different Batman stories, from comic books to movies. It gets really confusing, especially for younger people that are just kind of trying to get into Batman. And there's so much. It's intense. It's a vast
also, I think too.
Story.
My thing with that particular character as well is they already have like a running game series. That character, like, because those were coming out at the time of Arkham. I think it was the last one, the Arkham Knight. So to me, it didn't make sense. Like, I didn't understand why they were releasing 2 games at the same time. When one of them, I mean, I get it, one of them's more story driven, but like they already had really good narratives going with the Arkham series. So I feel like they should have rode that out. Like if you look at Borderlands, Like I think Borderlands, the Telltale game, only had one season, and it's because they did it in between Borderlands 2 and 3, I believe.
Yep.
You know, so it was like perfect timing where it was kind of something where it kept you going until the next game, but it was a completely different story. To me, Batman is, if you're going to do like a Batman game, it should just be full action, like character that like as much as I love to watch the movies, like I want to be Batman. Like I want to be the one who's like beating up the thugs so he doesn't kill anyone. You know, driving the Batmobile, like flying around the city, like doing that kind of stuff.
I agree.
I do like the choice for Guardians though.
Yeah, that does make sense. I think because that is a less known story of the Marvel universe, and I think it'd be cool what they can come up with. I'm interested in the Guardians of the Galaxy one. I think I might actually pick that one up, or at least episode 1, to see how much I like it, because I've been thinking about, you know, maybe I'll get Batman because I do love Batman, but again, it comes back to this story is going to add to another million stories for Batman. That's why I ended up not getting Batman. But I think I might pick up Guardians of the Galaxy because I kind of want to see what it's all about and experience it myself instead of watching someone's stream of it.
Well, this one too, it looks like they're doing a smart thing just based on the screenshots itself, is that they're using the already kind of like designed Disney characters. Last movie, like they're sticking with those character models, which I think is genius, because it basically, like, if you liked the movie, you're gonna like this game because it ties those characters in very well. Also, I think due to the volume of the characters that have to be involved to truly make it like a Guardians of the Galaxy game, like this game in itself would be way too hard to create like an action game out of it, because you'd constantly having to play the narrative of 5 different characters and switching between them, and that's just so much work. And I think it'd be a really tough game to put together, as opposed to a story where you can kind of streamline it and do Star-Lord's story.
Yeah, they also, in the article that I sent you, they announced the voice actors of everything. I had no idea who any of those people were, but that's another thing to add to it.
Yeah, voice actors are okay. I feel like I like those aren't usually make or break things for me. I would say as long as they stay consistent across the games. I know there have been games in the past where like midway through the series they've switched voice actors in the game for like the main characters, and it's just one of those things where like you notice it because that's like it's who you've come to expect to have all the dialogue. As long as they can keep these 5 people for the entire course of their however many episodes they want to do, it should go off flawlessly. I would imagine. Yeah,
it'll be cool to see. I don't know if there's a release date on that. Hold on, let me look at it real fast.
I didn't see anything.
I don't think
I would imagine it's got to be coming later in the year because they've got the movie coming out in like May, I think. That's the new movie. I see no dates.
The release date hasn't been released. Hasn't been announced. No. Okay.
Looks like they're gonna. It said they might share something in like 2017. Yeah. I'm guessing end of the year at best.
Yeah. All right. So next up on the list is No Man's Sky. Have snuck a update in called Pathfinder Update, which basically adds a new vehicle to the game. No Man's Sky was a game that's huge. Like the amount of things you could do in this game was limitless, but very limited. If that probably doesn't make sense. But basically what it is it's one huge map. Everyone can play on it. And there's just billions or millions, I don't remember what the correct measurement of it is, planets.
More than you can count.
Yeah, way more than you can count planets. And you basically just go to those planets, you harvest different things, you find different plants and animals, you can name them if you're the first one to find them, and that's about it. You upgrade your armor and you upgrade your
Weaponry.
I don't know if it's really weaponry.
There are weapons in it, but like
it's not a combat-based game, so you're not really prioritizing that. It's more like getting resources, those kind of utility things to get more resources. You can upgrade those.
Now, I would definitely say both of us coming from an Xbox background as opposed to PlayStation, we are probably a bit slight-handed just for this particular topic. I think that the title of the article to me is like the most interesting thing about it, because where it says, did they like sneak in a new update? I don't think they snuck it in. I think people stopped playing the game.
That's true.
I mean, if you want to talk about games in recent memory that have had huge pre-launch hype, this is at probably one of the top of my list. I know I was really pumped for this game because of, like you said, like all of the exploration you can do. Yeah. And then when it came out, it just didn't work. The gameplay and everything was fine, but like the game itself, I think just it wasn't as fleshed out as people were hoping it was going to be. They got it, and it just, from what I read, felt kind of like bare bones. Mm-hmm.
It was almost like your eyes were bigger than your stomach kind of thing, where it looked great, but then when you actually took in what it wasn't really enough.
Yeah, and I think part of that does stem how you said, like, the game. First of all, I'm a firm believer that any sort of like space exploration game, it should be set in third person. Like, don't do first person space exploration games, only for the sole reason that, like, part of the cool thing of being third person is like no one who plays these games is like astronauts. So it's cool to like get new armor and like you know, like kind of customize your characters as you go. Like, to me, that's always a huge thing in like a game where it's set in a realm that I'm not familiar with. For me, that's always huge. Now, with this, I agree. I think part of it is that there was just, like you said, such limited range of options for what you could do on each planet. You could take resources, like you said, name and discover plant species, things like that. I think you could even set up like trading posts. I know that was one thing to me that was the most interesting, is they said you could literally create a hub where like players would come in and like drop their goods off, and like people would come in and buy them. So like you kind of created like this little marketplace on a planet. But that was pretty much it. I think, like you said, like combat was there, but it wasn't a focus. I think that's a huge setback or draw away from the game. Part of the fun of aliens is fighting them, because you can't assume that they're all nice. But I also, from what I saw gameplay wise, like there wasn't a lot of like humanoid type enemies. So there weren't really enemies necessarily that like were coming after you the way that like a soldier would. Yeah, like it was all like it was like wildlife and fish and like animals. And then what actually attacked you, I did watch enough of it to find out that if you harvested too many resources, they had like sentinel drones that were like protectors of the planet that would come and attack you, because you were basically like destroying the planet if you came and harvested everything. So that was really the only, like, aside from like being able to kill wildlife and stuff if you wanted to, that was the only like major combat focus. So I mean, again, I don't think they snuck an update in. I think they're trying to do something to get people interested in the game again.
Well, it hasn't come out yet. Not many of the details have been released yet. That was just the title. They're just trying to sneak one in or whatever.
Right. And again, I think they're just trying to word it in a way that it makes it seem like, oh, like, wow, people are still playing this. I should probably hop back in and try it out.
Yeah, basically they're adding a vehicle to make it easier to explore planets. Kind of like the article thinks it's going to be like a Mass Effect Mako or Nomad.
Okay.
Kind of vehicle.
Yeah,
thing.
That makes sense. Because from what I remember,
probably minus the
weapons, the game looks cool. The game looks cool. It just
and really nice. It looks really nice too.
I like the graphic style of it, like where it's not taking itself too seriously. Like, but it looks good, but it's not trying too hard, which I actually kind of appreciate that, because game now is trying to be like so lifelike. It's kind of nice to have like a Borderlands, like a cell shaded game or something like that, where it's not quite perfect style of everything else.
Speaking of realistic looking games, Battlefield 1 They Shall Not Pass DLC, is it out yet? I don't think it's out yet. I think it's coming soon. It's coming soon, and basically it's your standard DLC for first person shooters. You know, more guns,
The maps,
yeah,
guns.
more maps. I think a couple of new game types, which I'm actually super excited about. I might go back and play this game once the DLC drops, because it's my favorite game type ever from a first-person shooter, which is, if anybody played World at War, it's Ground War, which is a bunch of people. There's 5 flags. You start, one team has to capture the middle flag, and then say your team captures it, it goes to the enemy side, and you have to go to the enemy side to capture their second flag.
Yeah.
And then if you capture it again, you go to their third flag, which is their last flag, and if you capture it, you win. But if you don't capture it, like they captured the second one, it goes back to the middle, and it's just this fight that's going back and
awesome.
forth, and just has to deal with momentum, and, you know, can you clear a team? Can you clear enough people of the team to where you can capture this and stuff like that? And that was when World at War had that game. It was literally the only game type I would ever play. My friends that I would always play World at War with would want to play like hardcore team death or hardcore search and destroy. I'm like, no, I'm only playing ground war. That's it.
Yeah, those are the fun, like the best game modes too, because it kind of like, because no one hates more than like when you're actually playing a game type to like play the game type, like domination or like a capture the flag, and then you've got people that are just like in the game type, but they're still basically playing like team deathmatch.
Right.
This was kind of in my opinion, like those were always the great mixes of game type, because it was like once you were pushing, like that team didn't necessarily have to go very far to defend the flag, but they had to stop you. So for them it was team deathmatch, and for you it was objective, which was always really cool. I like the updates. I think Battlefield makes a great game. The only thing with Battlefield is that it is so heavily squad based. And I mean that's
Very
their
true.
signature though, so they're not going to change it. It's a tough game to just hop in and play by yourself though.
Yep.
So
Okay. Enough of that one. Rocket League,
the fun one.
the most fun game out there right now that I can think of off top of hand. And this, it does kind of have to do with who you're playing with as well. Like, it's more fun to play with you and Chris and my friends, but when I'm by myself, even when I'm playing ranked, those first 20 games that I play, if I'm playing ranked, I'm enjoying myself. It's a game that I can always come back to if I'm not enjoying myself in another game. And basically why we're talking about Rocket League is they've made another, I don't know what that was. Something just went off.
Game mode?
Malfunction.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Are we still running live?
Oh, we're up. My whatever this thing is called, external hard drive just turned off and then turned back on.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Rocket League. They have came out with another game type, which after they came out with
game type.
Yeah, after they came out with basketball, I wasn't really expecting another game type, but I gotta tell you, this game type looks sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. I agree. I thought that they were just going to kind of stick to different sports. Oh, they had done hockey. They have basketball. They've obviously got soccer. Like, can't really make football. Too many people required to play that game, and it doesn't.
And how
make
do you
sense for
do
the game.
plays? How do you make plays?
Yeah. It just wouldn't really make great sense. This game mode looks so cool.
Right. This game mode is going to be called Drop Shot, and do you want to? You can explain.
Yeah. So the premise of it is that they're gonna light up zones on the floor of the map. And as you play, so as you start driving around and you hit certain zones, it's actually going to open up holes in the floor. Now, I'd have to rewatch the trailer. I don't know if it's just by driving over it. I think you actually have to hit the ball onto it first.
Yep.
So you hit the ball onto it, and when it bounces off of one of these highlighted like hexagons or whatever it is, it actually opens up a hole in the floor. So basically you have to open up a big enough hole that the ball can fit into it. And then from there, the hole stays open. So you have to watch out for it as you drive around. And then from there, you're pretty much just trying to aerial the ball down to the ground. I think personally, I think is a great change of pace for Rocket League.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where you would be playing and someone would just score because they got really lucky and they smacked a ball up in the air. And like, if the ball takes the right bounce, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, you're probably like, obviously the pros will get it, but like for your casual gamer, it's really hard to time up a good aerial. So I think this is nice. It saves a lot of the cheap goals of someone just like hitting it across the map and scoring. Although we've all had them and they're really funny when they happen.
Yeah. So there's only one thing I have to add to or change what you said. I'm pretty sure they don't light them up. Like, it's not a predetermined light up on the ground. I'm pretty sure you have to hit the ball onto the ground and then it'll light up, and then you have to hit the ball to open the floor again.
Oh, okay.
But if like the other team hits the ball and it's your team's that's lit up, I think it either turns off or it goes to their color.
Theme.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I haven't watched a trailer in a few days, so, and it's not a very long trailer. It's just enough to like get you excited for it. And I feel like they've kind of kept the details a little bit not like out in the open exactly the fine mechanics of it. But yeah, Rocket League, I think, like he said, like it definitely depends on who you play with, and I feel like we both probably have some of our funniest gaming moments have probably come from playing Rocket League. You just got to get people that like can laugh and have a good time and not take it too seriously.
Although I rage at it sometimes when I lose a lot.
Yeah, it's online games. It happens.
The only question I didn't see answered was, say, if your team opens up a hole and the other team hits the ball in, if it would probably still count.
Does it count? Yeah.
Count for you, but then how do you get the floors to come back up? Like, I'm sure if you score a goal, the floors will come back up. But like maybe if the other team scores the goal in yours, the floors come back up and nobody scores.
See, that's what, and I think that's, like I said, like one of those like fine details they haven't really played out, like really revealed yet.
True.
But I would guess, just because it's Rocket League, I would speculate that once you open a hole up in the floor, it may not be fair game for everyone, but that hole is probably not going away until a goal gets scored. Like, you're gonna have to avoid that for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing I did notice from the trailer is that like when they were scoring, were usually set like at different like sizes. So like you could tell that like goal the team had been trying to score for a long time. Like the hole looked like it was missing a lot more pieces. So the net the effective net effect basically becomes bigger. So other times it seemed like they kind of just like snuck it into like the perfect sized like opening in the floor.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. You'll definitely see some streaming of that when it comes out. Again, I don't know what the release date is. Feel bad. I keep not knowing what the release date is. Let me see if I can find it real fast here.
Does it say anything about it? I feel like it's got to be coming soon.
It has
like the
to
nice
be.
thing about Rocket League is
22nd of March. What's today? The 19th? Yep.
It's like 3 days.
3 days.
They're usually pretty good about when they put a trailer out, having something come. They do a really good like hype to release timing, where like they always release like a trailer or something, and then very shortly after it
actually comes out. Yeah.
Because I feel like for them, the nice thing about what they do is like they don't really have to change a whole lot of the mechanics to release a DLC. They just got to kind of change like the way the goals are set up and things like that. Like basketball is just aerials, hockey is just all ground game. So cool.
I wouldn't call this DLC because it's free.
just a nice little treat.
A new
It's a treat.
A new game type. So the next thing is the Rock Band developers Harmonix have made a new music-based game that is centric on card playing. Like it's a card game and a music game mixed in, where you'll have vocals, guitar, bass, and drums will be your four. Vocals, guitar, bass, and drums. Yeah, four different cards, and I'm sure this is going to be.
They probably have a bass too.
Did I not say that? I said that.
There's 5 slots.
I said that. Vocals, guitar, bass, and drums. There's only 4 listed there. I'm sure there's another thing. Maybe there's like a backup guitar or like a backup vocalist card section. It looks like one of them is blue and red. So it could go either way. So basically...
that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's only 4.
What it seems like is you'll be able to buy cards, which, now that I'm thinking about it, seems like a huge money ruse kind of thing. But it seems like you'll be able to buy cards.
Ooh, hold on. I think I'm cutting out. Am I good? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
you're good.
Sorry.
Yeah, you went offline for a second there, but you're back. It looks like you can buy cards and come up with different creations, I guess. But I don't understand how... Like, how is this going... I guess it probably isn't going to be anything like Rock Band where you're tallying up a score. Maybe it's just something for people that like putting together new music.
I mean, the article talks about having like a Clash game mode where it's like 1-on-1 or 2-on-2.
Oh yeah, I see that right there.
It's an iOS game, and like an Android iOS game. From the looks of it, it looks like you get this like plastic, and this isn't the first time they've done stuff like this. I feel like it's kind of like if you think of like Amiibos, I feel like it's kind of similar to that, but just from a like the way it works kind of standpoint. But to me, it looks like, because if you look, they've got like a track list and everything.
Yeah.
I think if I had to guess, what would happen is you get cards that are the actual instrument. So as you play, you're drawing cards from like a deck, and then as the song goes, the different instruments are going to drop, and it's going to go back and forth between you and whoever you're playing, and you guys are going to have to drop cards down to like keep the song going. Maybe that would be my guess, because I don't know. It's a unique idea. I don't get it. It comes out in like 2 days. Or no, wait, no. That's Rock Band VR. Never mind. Yeah, I have no idea. That would be my guess.
September. And it says here that it's going to have more than 300 cards available.
So yeah, I mean, I guess you probably can mix and match your own music. I don't know. I'm certainly not going to buy it. I'm not holding my breath until September for it to come out. Just me.
I'm looking at this, at the song list. There are actually some good songs on here. Afrojack. Who else is here? Bruno Mars is on here. Cake. Short Skirt, Long Jacket. I love that song.
I mean, they've got a decent track list. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't get it. Like,
there's not enough in this article to really explain what it is.
No, it's a new game that's coming out. Involves some sort of hardware that gets
sounds expensive.
Or I'm guessing Bluetooth or something into your phone for some sort of a cool multiplayer game, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it to me seems kind of stupid. If I'm playing a music game, I either want to jam on a fake guitar or jam on some drums or something. I don't want to play cards.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird mix, especially to go from Rock Band to a card playing game. That's really odd.
I don't get it. But
money ruse, man. It's all about the money.
I would say, on the exact opposite note, of games that suck and we don't know why they're doing them. The next topic, which is Creash Bandicoot reboots, or I guess full remasters. That's a game that we know is good, and we know why they're remaking it. And it may be about the money, but they are certainly doing it the right way.
Yeah. Who gives a shit about if this is about the money? They know this game is good. And from this gameplay trailer, I am seriously contemplating getting a PS4 and just buying this game, even though there are other PS4 exclusives that are coming out in 2017. This, just the sounds,
awesome.
The sounds are what gave this game the best feeling that I got when I was watching it. But I mean, the sound design in this game is just so memorable.
And I think part of it is it's like super minimalistic. Like if you go back and you really look at it, like they don't have a lot of different sound bites for the entire game.
True.
Like and if you don't ever remember picking up the mask, like that, the oh my god, that he like that noise, if you don't know what that's from, like you probably you're not going to be excited for this game. But like, how did you not play this game growing up?
Right. Well, they could be children that don't know what Creash Bandicoot is anyways.
Yeah. I see, this is one of those games where I think it's kind of a cool, like, it's clearly not targeted at, it's targeted at people our age. It's definitely not targeted at people younger than us. And by younger, I mean like significantly younger, like you said, like still kids. But I think it's a cool opportunity for people like us who've played the game, or, you know, there's going to be some adults too where they were like in their 20s when the game first came out, like literally 20 years ago, to like get their kids like to play the game, and they can kind of like have this cool like paired like nostalgia kind of thing where like the kid plays it for the first time and loves it because it's a cool game, but the parent sits there the whole time and they're like, oh, like this is the greatest game ever because I played it.
See, I would never let my kid, if I had children right now, it would be like I couldn't watch them, because although Bandicoot games, they're never hard, I'm hoping that there's going to be harder difficulty on here, which from the trailer you can't really tell because it was like a standard remake of the map, so obviously that's not going to be hard. But when I was a kid and I was playing this, I remember some really tough points. I don't remember which one exactly, but the jet ski levels always were a pain in the ass for me. And
I love that they showed like one of the most iconic scenes from like all the games, which is him running away from that ball of death, like through the tunnel. Like that is always going to be one of the hardest things, especially as a little kid. Like when your motor functions or your motor skills aren't really quite working very well, you can't coordinate the whole thumb thing very well. But my favorite thing about it is that they're calling it a remake, and they're actually doing it, I guess, to my definition of a remake or a remaster, which is actually go in, like, change the graphics. Like you don't need to change the controls or anything, because the controls are what made it fun. But like they went in, like they truly remastered the graphics. They made the game look a lot better. So like to me, that's the one thing I'm excited about. Like they didn't just they did the game justice by bringing it to the next gen console. Like they actually did something with it to warrant spending money on the game.
Yeah, it looks really good. Looks really good. Okay, so next topic here. This game, it's called, what's it called? The Surge. And I remember I saw this at this last E3. I'm pretty sure they had some gameplay there, and it looks flippin' sweet. I'm recently into Dark Souls. The first Dark Souls I ever played was Dark Souls 3. I've gone back and played 1. I haven't beat it yet. I need to play 2. I haven't even beaten 3 yet. It's so difficult, and I always like get past a boss. I'm just like, I can't play this anymore. It frustrates me too much. But apparently this game has a similar combat system. Not exactly the same because it's set in the future. It's Dark Souls, but with futuristic what are they called? Like mech suits
Like,
that you're in?
dude, this game looks so cool.
Yeah.
Just all around. I feel like it hits all the cool points.
Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest thing that why they're comparing it to Dark Souls is because they said it's going to have the same kind of unforgiving, not going to tell you where to go. If you die, all the enemies respawn. If you're only going to be able to, heal yourself a certain amount of times before you have to get to a campfire or whatever it's going to be in this game to get more ways to heal yourself. Refill your healing, I should say.
Yeah, I'm guessing your mech suit probably breaks down over time as well. Like your weapons in your mech suit, which that would be something they haven't really done in games in the past, which I would love to see in this game, which is like actively degrading armor. Like they've obviously had that concept in games for forever, where like as you play your weapons become weaker, your armor becomes weaker, and you have to repair it. But I would love to see, like, if you look at the screenshot that we have, like how the dude's like decked out in like a yellow mech suit. If like over time, he gets hit in the one arm enough that like that piece of armor starts degrading, where like you can see like physical dents and damage, but just to that arm. Or so, like, what I mean? Like, to me, that'd be really cool, and this is a really cool opportunity to have that happen. But I don't know. This game's going to be awesome. I'm a huge fan of anything that's like tech related or like robot-ish related.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too.
This dude's got like a fucking great sword that's just pieced together out of like sharpened metal and like a piece of pipe.
One thing we should add to this. So Dark Souls kind of has a crafting system where you pick up items to base. You upgrade your items, and that's what the crafting system is. But this one seems more like you can like make weapons out of it, and you can harvest other mech weapons, which it makes sense. Like if you kill a robot, it has parts that you maybe may be able to use. Maybe you didn't destroy the robot completely, and it drops a better weapon, and you can use that better weapon, which I guess. Or you can use it to upgrade a better weapon. I don't know. I haven't really read the article completely, but there is crafting system, and you can harvest enemies that you've defeated.
Yeah, and even in the title it says something about like specific body parts. So I'm guessing, like you said, like if you, so if you if you need like a new piece of armor, like for your arm or your leg, and like that's a piece that you don't damage or something, or like that's a piece that you lop off of an enemy, like. I agree. Like, it makes sense. You should be able to take that piece of armor and like equip it to your character, and outfit your character. Which I hope that means like you're gonna see, because it's an online game too, which is something else to keep in mind. I don't know how multiplayer ingrained it is. If it's kind of like a Dark Souls where like there's a couple people, or is it like I think it might be a full like online experience, but like I think hopefully it leads to some really cool people that just have like these makeshift like mech suits where it's just like a bunch of different pieces kind of thrown together in no real rhyme or reason, but it works for them because it gives them like the bonuses that they want, or or whatever the case may be.
Right. Okay, so on to this podcast has been pretty positive, except for this next thing, which is Injustice 2 has microtransactions, and that system was recently announced. They're claiming it's not pay to win.
It's for sure pay to win. Let's be real here.
Did you read what the actual system is? Because I didn't.
No. I mean, and quite frankly, like I have no interest in reading articles about microtransactions because it's all the same thing. Like, they all say it's not pay to win, but at the same time, the people who do pay not win more often, but they're going to advance faster. So the only reason that there's even a microtransaction system in this game, I don't know how much research you've done on the game, but they've actually instilled a level up kind of like RPG mechanic to a fighting game, which to me makes no sense. So you like as you play through like their story and their multiplayer and stuff, you unlock or you get kind of like RNG pieces of armor for your character. So like you might get like shoulders and a chest and like boots. Like I think there's like shoulders, chest, boots, and like the cowl, and all of them affect your baseline stats. I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, that's weird.
For the sole reason that like
it's a fighting game.
Yeah, like you shouldn't truly a fighting game doesn't need any of that. Like it's a side-scrolling fighter game. Like why do you need? I feel like they brought in stuff to keep people entertained for longer. But like the first game was awesome. If they wouldn't have had this system, like no one would have been mad at all. The first Injustice was awesome.
Well, it says here in the article in the first paragraph that the currency is called source crystals, and these are used to buy cosmetic, non-gaming changing features. So the microtransactions are just going to be cosmetic based, it looks like.
Well, then that I'm okay with.
You cannot pay to win with Injustice 2.
Well, that's perfect.
Another
See, and like I guess obviously you put my foot in my mouth a little bit, but I still am not gonna take back what I said about the RPG system. I still think it makes no sense, but I do like the fact, I guess, that in a game that is so intense that they aren't giving people any ways to give themselves like truly an upper hand without really having dedicated themselves to the game.
Yeah.
A lot like Mortal Kombat in the sense that like you have to know, like you'll get a lot of people that pick one character and like that is their character. They get really, really good with them.
Mm-hmm.
Where they just like this game's all about chaining combos. It's a really intense game. Like if you ever watch people get really into these games, it's intense to watch them play. The one thing I heard that they did do from the last game, which is they've given pretty much every character, or at least a higher number of characters, a way to close gaps. There was a really big issue in the last game that, as for people that didn't know how to play, that someone would just pick a character that had really strong ranged attacks, and you'd never win if you didn't know how to counter it perfectly, because they could literally just sit across the map and hit you. And from what I understand, they've kind of gotten away from that, and like they've given every character the ability to like effectively close gaps. But
cool. We'll have to ask Reinhardt some more. One of my viewers on Twitch, he is super excited about this. Every time he comes in here, he's like, "Did you see this happen for Injustice 2?" I'm like, "No, I have not."
I did not.
All right. So here's another kind of nostalgic thing, but it is a new game. This Sonic, what is it called? Sonic Forces. So this was like Sonic Reboot Project 2017 or something. It had some stupid name up until, I think, this week. They finally picked a name of Sonic Forces, and it's a first look gameplay trailer. This game is coming holiday 2017. It's amazing how far Sonic has come and how there are still Sonic games coming out to this day, and how many people actually support this. I mean, people obviously, if they're making new games, more people are still playing them, and I honestly would probably play this because it looks phenomenal. Again,
the cool thing about this game, from the looks of it, is that it is going to be one of those games like where you can be like a little kid and play this game and win. You just may not like score the highest. Like, you know what I mean? You might not collect all the rings.
You can get through the level, but
yeah, like this gameplay clip they show this guy who, like, you know, he's playing and then he like goes off of a ramp, jumps, hits, like, grabs like a hanger, I can't think of it, like a paraglider kind of, and like perfectly paraglides through a hole. Like, I feel like if you don't know how to do that, like, you're probably not going to do that in your run, but it doesn't mean you're not going to finish the race. Like, but I agree. Like, Sonic is, I'm surprised they still make games for it, but it is such a long-standing series. Like, they're not going to stop making them. And come on, who doesn't want to be Sonic? Sonic's the man.
I'm still trying to think of what the word is, but I can't.
It's like a paraglider or like
No.
glider. I don't know.
Nope, because this is gonna bother me until I remember what the word is. Zip line. It's a zip line.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that just shows you, like, the one thing that's cool is, like, they definitely are playing on the fact that he's super fast. Because it was something where, like, to me, it didn't look like a zip line, but then you watch it a couple of times and you definitely see it.
I wonder, have you played any recent Sonic games?
I haven't played a Sonic game since... Well, I haven't owned and played a Sonic game since Sonic on the Sega Genesis 3 back in, like, 2000 or, like, late 90s. But, I mean, I've dabbled with them on, like, the Dreamcast, which, shout out to a really old console. Really gonna date myself there. Like the Dreamcast and, like, a little bit on, like, PS1 and things like that, but anything like too recent or too substantial now.
Because I'm just wondering, like, how big of a story there are with these games now. I mean, it's probably not huge, but I mean, like, but like after a level, maybe you get a story clip.
I feel like you're working with very limited ability to tell a story, but the one thing that they do that I do remember these games doing very well is they tell a story and they use the level to their advantage in that storytelling. So, like, something's going to happen at the beginning, and then the person's magically going to make it to the end of the level, and then you're going to have to chase them down as Sonic. But it ties into, like, whatever the story is, like the city that he's running around in. It looks like things are exploding. Like, there's probably some sort of, like, destruction happening with the main villain of the game that would make sense for him to be running through the city.
Or do they do they make new villains for him too? Or is it the same villains?
Dude, the last villain I remember is, like, the big fat dude that floats around.
That's like the staple villain for
he's
Sonic.
Like iconic. Yeah, he's like iconic. I know. I mean, they've added in, like, Shadow and like the
Shadow,
Silver Hedgehog.
Like, came part of their team though.
Yeah, he might be now, but, like, he was like.
No, I'm
he
thinking
was, like,
of
a
Knuckles.
villain back
Never
in the
mind.
day.
Never mind. I'm
Knuckles
thinking of
is
Knuckles.
the shit.
Yeah.
Knuckles is the shit. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I don't really think they're. I mean, they might still be making new villains, but
who knows?
I haven't played a game recently enough to tell you.
All right, let's move on. So the Gears of War designer is coming out with a new PC shooter called Lawbreakers, and their closed beta started on the 16th, I believe. And when does it go till? It's over. Yeah, it ended yesterday at 9 p.m. Pacific time.
That was a quick beta.
Yeah. So basically, I watched a streamer, Darkness429, if anybody knows who that is. I watched him play it. And he didn't seem to enjoy it a lot. And I mean, I would rather play Overwatch because, in my opinion, it's Overwatch and with the graphics of Titanfall. It seemed very Titanfall-esque as well. And it was very Overwatchy, where there were, a set amount of characters, and each of them had specific abilities, and it was very fast-paced, and you were jumping all over the place, and it was very vertical, like Titanfall. But it seemed to be lacking any type of fluidity. It felt very clunky. It looked very clunky. I didn't actually play it, so I can't say it felt clunky. But when I was watching it, it didn't have the smoothness that Overwatch has. And if you play Overwatch and you would watch this game, you would understand what I'm talking about. But probably someone that doesn't play Overwatch and hasn't seen this game doesn't really understand what I'm saying. And I don't know what other way to explain the fluidity of Overwatch. Just Overwatch feels nice when you're playing it. Everything is, in proportion. You're moving at the right speed compared to how big the map
relative
is.
To your character, yeah. And relative to your character.
And Lawbreakers just seemed super not right in the movement of the game.
And that might be something that they're actually using the beta for, knowing that they've got some tough competition with Overwatch. They could be using the beta to kind of figure that stuff out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them kind of revamp like those movement speeds and things. But again, it's just one of those things where I think a lot of they're just going to suffer from the classic issue of competing against like a big game. Is you have like, not only do you have to fight the battle of getting out a good game in itself, but you're also always fighting the reputation of the competitor. And in a closed, there's no other game like Overwatch really that's out right now. So like, you're pretty much going up against that, and it's been the only game out for a while like that.
Another thing I want to add to that is it was when he was playing different characters, all I was doing was like, oh, this is Soldier 76, this is Tracer,
exactly,
and it was almost like that, except the only difference was the Tracer character had a machine gun and like a pistol, and you could either shoot just the machine gun or just the pistol. And no, it was a submachine gun, just the submachine gun, just the pistol. And then another one of the differences was the healer was like Junkrat, where he would shoot like grenades that would bounce a couple of times and then explode, but he also healed people. Like, he didn't have the same abilities as Junkrat.
Right, like a hybrid of some sort.
Yeah.
But
and I think,
and that's what I mean. Like, if the market was more saturated, like, it would make sense to release a game like this. But like, to me, this seems like every time EA Sports tries to release a new NBA game,
they get shit on.
Like, and the games may be good, they're never as good as 2K. Never. And 2K has held the market in basketball for way too long. It'd be the same thing if 2K tried to go and make like an NFL game. It just wouldn't play out very well because Madden's got a pretty good handle on what they're doing.
Right. I was going to say something else. Oh, and everyone can fly. I thought that was really stupid. Everyone can fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that.
That made it weird. That made it really weird. But on to the next. I guess this really, now that I'm thinking about this one, it's really not that important. But it's a third-party charger for Xbox One controllers has been recalled due to a burn hazard. Energizer has come out with a controller that, well, I don't think it's a controller, like a battery pack that is rechargeable.
But it's not a battery. Well, but it's not that. It's the console itself. So if you look at that picture of it, the stand that they're sitting on. Mm-hmm. They're saying like it pumps too much juice into the controller, basically.
So the controller is overheating.
Yeah, it's doing damage to the actual controller because it's like it's not stopping basically when it's charged. Like, this is for me just prime example, and like the one thing, although like, and you can say that it's blowing smoke or whatever from the developer side or from like the actual like Sony, Microsoft, whatever the case may be standpoint, like. The only time I've ever really listened to like a GameStop employee or like anything when it comes to stuff is when they tell you about like buy, because I'm a firm believer that like, and I've had it happen where you buy like the third party devices, whether it's like a controller, a headset, whatever the case may be.
Never is good.
And unless it's like 100% licensed by the company, which they obviously all can build devices for the respective pieces of hardware, like controllers and things like that, they never work as well as the actual manufacturer. Like iPhone is another great example. Like the chargers never work well for like Apple devices if it's not an app, like if it's not an Apple licensed charger. Like my headphones are like legitimate Microsoft Turtle Beaches. I've had other headsets in the past and they break really quickly. or they stop working. So like to me, it's just common sense. Like, don't buy third-party stuff. Just spend a little extra money and buy the Microsoft one. You know it works, and you know it's not going to break anything.
So I think my Xbox just turned off, and I'm dropping. Okay, there we go. I was clearly downloading something when my Xbox turned off there, but we're back. I'm pretty sure we got all that. I could hear everything.
If not, it's not really important.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we should be good.
Buy third-party stuff.
Yeah. The moral of this
the
story is don't buy third-party, especially when it comes to if you have an iPhone. Those chargers that are third-party, they may be $5, but you're going to destroy your battery.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, even with like the Microsoft stuff, like, just whether it's Microsoft, Sony, like especially Nintendo now at the Switch with those new little like controller pieces, that's going to be a third-party gold mine. People are going to be trying to make controllers like crazy. Like, just sack up, spend a little extra money, buy the licensed product that literally, like, for Microsoft, like it comes in like the patented like Microsoft green box. Like, buy that Xbox, because but like buy that because you know it's going to work and you know nothing's going to happen if you use it.
Yep.
Thing with like Sony and all that stuff, like apply it to the console that you use.
Speaking of the Switch, if you don't have one yet, the production is doubling to meet the demand of how many people want a Switch, because a lot of people want the Switch, and I am one of them. And I didn't pre-order it or anything like that.
Also on board.
I'm trying to get my girlfriend to buy one, but having her spend $500 on a console is very hard to convince. But yeah, I want one.
I think my favorite thing about this, one, like the main reason that I even want to Switch, one, the new Zelda game looks
amazing,
so sweet. Yeah. Haven't been able to honestly play like Mario games and stuff here recently. I've had no desire to buy like Wii U's and things like that. Like, to me, the games don't sound that cool. Like, or not the games, the consoles to me never seemed that appealing, like a Wii U or something. Yep. This console to me is awesome for this sole reason that, like, I probably wouldn't use it as like a TV console game. We always play it as the handheld. Unless I'm playing, like, Zelda, would love to play that on the big screen. That sounds cool. But I think it's a really unique way for them to kind of come back into the gaming market, and the fact that the hardware specs on it are a lot higher than Nintendo games in recent history.
Yep.
To me, those are like major selling points. I probably won't get one anytime soon, but I will probably get one. And two, they don't take up a lot of space from what it looks like. Like,
small.
You can very easily like hide it behind your TV or next to your TV or something like that, and it doesn't really look like it's like too out of the ordinary.
All right, I believe that concludes episode kind of 1, but actually 2 of the Oldy Gaming Podcast. I think it went pretty well. How long have we've been around for like an hour or so?
About an hour.
Yeah, it's be good podcast. You'll see it up on YouTube by tomorrow. I will make a video of this, cutting the beginning. I know I started streaming and I kind of waited for people to get here and for you to be able to like see me on the following screen and whatnot. And I'm sure I'll have to trim some off at the end, but yeah, you'll see this on Twitch, YouTube.
Ooh, how many people watched us today? I'm actually curious.
A couple of people came in. Nobody really said anything, but Rated was here for a bit.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
We did make the follower goal this week. We're getting really close to 100 followers on Twitch. We also got 1,000 views. I have 1,045 views now. But we got the 1,000 view mark, and we're 87 of 100 followers. And when I get 100 followers, we're going to do some sweet giveaways of the Powerful You Have Become, The Dark Side I Sense in You, posters that I have. One of them's right behind me right here. I have like 20 more, 30 more in my closet ready to be given away. And whatever I don't give away is going to become a Revlo reward, probably for like 100,000 Revlo tokens. If you don't know what Revlo is, if you watch my stream on Twitch, every minute you get one Weenie Hut token. And after you gain enough Weenie Hut tokens, you can redeem them for things like telling me what game type I should play. There's one on there that makes me do like 10 push-ups or something like that. And then another one will be, of course,
Dude,
having
you're about
one
to
of
be
these.
jacked from playing video games.
Nah, I made it like 100,000 because I don't want to do it. You have to watch for like 69. It's before you like approve what the point thing is. It's like, this is going to take viewers 69 days of watching you to be able to redeem. Do you want this? I'm just like, yeah. Got to watch me for 69 days.
Ideal.
Or you have to like suck up to Reinhardt and he'll just give you the 100,000 tokens since he has that modded capability now. But yeah. I'm going to mute you, going to mute me, and enjoy this song. I love, before I mute you, I love this song, and that's why I always play it before. It gets me amped up for the podcast, and I play it after because it makes me feel good about the podcast before. So that's why I always play it. And eventually, when I get some more good footage on Twitch, I'm going to come up with like a highlight intro video that song is going to be playing to. But then for now, we are going to check you later.
Crisco out.
What we do here is go back.
Big gun.